Stretching those muscles out. What we do is pretty physical. We don't think about that, but what we do is pretty physical at times. So it's a good idea to shake our hands out. I see you doing that one. Let's do this one. This is a Jack Pearson exercise. You got our first finger here. We're going to go on one side. Maybe we can even get a shot of this. Timothy, can we get a shot of that? Fingers on one side and the other side. Yeah, but you have to get the shot without my bald head. There you go. That's my boy right there. All right, let's do the second. Let's do the second finger. The middle finger there. Okay, third finger. There you go. And the pinky, I could never really do. I can only get it so far on the pinky. Some people can go more. But that stretches those muscles behind or in between your fingers there. Okay, one last one we're going to shake. It's going to seem like an eternity. You ready? If you've got hand problems, if you've got some, don't do this. But if you're okay, then do this. Okay, we're going to shake our hands. Okay, for 15 seconds. It's going to feel like an eternity. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, come on, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, come on, 11, 12, 13. It doesn't work unless you really go, 14, 15. All right, stop. Do you feel that? Your fingers feel light. That's kind of a quick way to loosen up your hands real quick. All right, sit down very carefully and grab your guitars. Okay, we got some players that are just starting. We've got some players that are intermediate. We've got some players that are advanced. So grab the apple that's for you. Okay. I trust that you're all tuned up.
You're a trusting soul, Steve.
That's right. Maybe I shouldn't be so trusting. It wouldn't be a guitar conference if all of my gear completely flaked out the moment I put it up on stage. So I'm actually using a completely different system here than I would normally do. You can probably bring me down in the monitors just a little bit. Okay. This session, we talked about doing some speed and agility workouts. Many of you have the fretboard workout series that I did on that, so we'll just do that for a couple minutes. I mainly wanted to get to some flexibility exercises. Okay, so we're going to come up here on the first string at the 5th fret. I want you to put your first finger right here. Oh, sorry, Timothy, I'll be still so you can see. Okay, and then we're going to put all 4 fingers on this fret. Every finger on a fret. Okay, look at your hand. Very important. This is what your hand should look like. Not this. Bad. Good. Bad. Good. Okay? Now, this may feel a little funky to you. Make sure there's a little air space right here. Okay? Okay? Now, I know it's tempting to go up like this. It feels good. It's great. Don't do that. It's really great for this. You're physically using a different set of muscles than you are when you're here. When you're playing guitar, I need to get these little guys working, not these. When I'm up here, I'm using these big guys here. Okay? That's why when I pick up something heavy, I pick it up with my palm in. I don't pick it up with my fingertips. Why can't I pick it up with my fingertips? Because of different kinds of muscles. When I grab this, okay? So when you raise it up like this, you trigger the big muscles, the biceps and stuff like that. Here, they're really great. They're doing heavy things. They're lousy for playing guitar. That's why you don't see many football players, big football players and weightlifters, very good at this. That's why I try and that's why I don't work out as much as I need to. Okay, it would affect my playing, maybe. Okay, you want a little bit of air space between your fingers, okay? A little bit of air space there, each finger comfortably there. These two are basically coming straight on. This one's angling in slightly, this one's angling in slightly. Okay? Now, are you going to get that overnight? No, I'm sorry. It doesn't happen overnight. If you're used to playing like this, it's going to be frustrating to play like this. It's going to feel stupid. Just trust me, ever so slightly, start to go in that direction. And after a couple of months, This will start to feel a little more comfortable to you. We're going to do this exercise. Then hit our first finger. We're going to go 1, then our second finger. I want you to think about transfer of weight. Remember Raiders of the Lost Ark? He's standing there before he's got the idol in the bag of sand. Transfer of weight. That's what we're doing here. 1, 2. Now we're going to go 1, 3. 1, 3. Think of transfer of weight. 1, 4. Okay? Back to 1, 3. 1, 3. 1, 2, 1. Okay? Okay? Not that. Try and avoid that. Try and get it right here. We're going to do it one more time. But Steve, I know I can play faster than this. Don't listen to that voice. That's the wrong voice. He's not going to get you where you need to go. Slow, think about what you're doing. That is what helps. You want to know what professional musicians do? When they start to practice for the day, they do things like this. I remember hearing Yo-Yo Ma, the great cellist, talk about what he does as he warms up for the day. He said, the first thing I do is play really long tones. I try and get a good tone. Will McFarlane will talk about tone next time. Okay? Here we go. Let's do it one more time. 1 to 2. 1 to 3. 1 to 4. Let's add one. We're going to stretch 4 out. We're going to go up here. And now I'm really stretching. Okay, now back to 1, 4, normal. 1, 3. 1, 2. 1. I know you can play faster than this. That's not what this is about. It's about getting the right movements down. Let's go in reverse. Let's start with 4. We're going to go 4, 3. 4, 2. It's about getting our fingers to cooperate. 4, 1. Now 4, 1 stretch. 4, 2. Sorry, I should hear you. 4, 3. It's about getting your fingers to cooperate. Motor skill training. Okay, I know everybody's grown up and we haven't really thought about motor skills. We've been moving our hands since we were born. Now I'm asking your hands to do very, very specific things. So if your hands feel clunky, I just can't do the ideas that are in my head. You need to train your fingers to cooperate a little better. Let's do it one more time. A little bit faster. A little bit faster. We're going to do 1, 2 first. We're going to start with the first finger. Ready? Go. 1, 2. 1, 3. 1, 4. Now 1, 4. 1, 4 stretch. 1, 4. 1, 3. 1, 2. 1. Let's go pinky. Okay, now we're going to go 4, 3. Here we go. Ready, go. 4, 2. 4, 1. 4, 1 stretch. 4, 1. 4, 2. 4, 3. Okay. If you're struggling with that, even at that tempo, work with a metronome and slowly try and get yourself find the tempo that you can play it at successfully, no matter how slow that is, and then you time yourself doing it. That's how we practice. That's how you get better at it. Practicing is not about sitting in your room and oh, I got a few exercises, let me just go. Alright, I got that. Okay, you're missing the whole point. You think it's about, no, it's not about that at all. It's about getting your fingers to cooperate. Okay? So, it's boring, it's terrible. Oh, it's guitar player abuse to go this slow. Learn to love this spot. This is the spot where things get done. It doesn't look like it. Down here, slow and methodical, that's where things get done. That's where things start rearranging in your brain. Let's do pinky. 4, 3, ready, go. Use your fingertips. Don't use the flat of your fingers. Right, use your fingertips. Bring that wrist. Oh, sorry. I can't talk. We'll play at the same time. Okay, now you want to bring your wrist almost a little forward. So you don't want to be like this. It's all about getting your fingers enough flexibility, space to do what they need to do. You almost need to bring your hand forward a little bit, okay, to do what they need to do. Okay, now we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. Second string, same thing. Third string. Fourth string. Fifth string. See what's happening with your wrist? Your wrist kind of has to almost come forward as I go higher up on the fretboard, okay? So see, my wrist almost has to come forward a bit when I do that, okay? If I offset that a little bit, I get a chromatic scale. Okay, and I get a little chromatic scale out of it. All right, that's a little bit about dexterity. How do you get better with that? You start slow. Measure yourself. Get a little piece of paper and write out, today I was able to do it at 60 beats per minute. And then you try it again tomorrow, and you get to 62. And you try it the next day, and you get to 64. So by the end of 2 weeks of doing this, you're rocking a significantly higher range than you were before. And that's how this works. Okay, it doesn't work by you just going, wait a minute, I can do it faster. Wait a minute, I got it. It doesn't work that way. It's slowly, skill upon skill, practice session upon practice session, and after the end of about 2 weeks, then you'll notice you're playing things that you couldn't play before. Okay? So don't let 2 weeks worth of work stop you from being the guitar player that you want to be. You know, some things it just takes a couple of weeks to get there. All right, now I want to get you through some finger flexibility exercises. Now, we talked in the past about Phil Katie's finger flexibility exercises. How many of you have heard me ramble on about that? Okay, wow, not as many as I thought. You guys need to hear me ramble some more. All right, very quickly, we'll do Phil Katie's exercise. Okay, so I don't have it written on the board, but we'll just have to do it. Okay, so we're going to start up here at the 10th fret. Okay, we're going to put our first finger on this D right here. Okay, our second finger we're going to put on the second string, the fret above it. This, and then we're going to do the third finger on the third string, and fourth. So now we have all 4 fingers offset, and we're playing a beautiful E flat major 7 chord. Okay? Enjoy it. That's the most beautiful thing of this whole exercise. Okay, now the fun begins. Alright. And when Phil Katie comes tomorrow, then you can see. Put your first finger down 2 frets. Not 1, but 2. Okay, some of you are already going, I can't do the first move of this exercise, much less the complete exercise. Okay? If you can't do this, then when you get home, just start with maybe 1 fret down. But right now we're going to do 2 frets down. Now, second finger, I'm going to move him down 1 fret. Oh, the chatter begins. There's no way, I can't do it. Third finger, move him down 1 fret. Y'all are already giving up. It's 9:21. You're ready to go home. Maybe this guitar playing thing wasn't for me. Okay, move this. Now you move pinky down 1 fret. And now you move first finger in 1 fret. And now I'm back to where I started from, except I'm a half step down. Okay, so everybody, remember where you're at. Relax your hand. Come on, shake it out. Can you do 1 more? Come on, we can do this. We can do this. So now you're at the 9th fret. And we've got our E flat, and now, a D major 7 chord at the 9th fret. Okay? Angle your guitar up if you need to. If you're playing like this is really going to be hard. Okay? First finger goes down 2. Second finger goes down 1. this. Can you do this all normal? Third finger down 1. We have a couple of our guests that don't have guitars. They're just laughing at you right now. And first, pinky down 1. First finger in 1. Now, this exercise is on our forum, guitargathering.com, that is to our community. It's from a live lesson that we did a couple of months ago. I'll try to remember which one and put it up there. But anyway, it's all printed out. Phil Kagi finger flexibility exercises. You probably can type that into Google, Phil Kagi finger flexibility exercises, and it'll probably come up. I've used the dumb exercise so much. Okay, so now we're at the 8th fret. 2 frets down. Second fret. Second finger down 1. Third finger down 1. Pinky in 1. First finger in 1. Steam finger 1 way too fast. First finger down 2. Second finger down 1. And just to confuse you, third finger down, pinky down 1. First finger in. The neck gets longer. The frets get farther. I don't think I can, but we'll try. Last one. You think I can do it? I don't think I can. That's Phil Kagi's hand stretching exercises. Stretches the muscles in between here. If you find that your hand, I can't get larger chords, I can't do bar chords, I can't do things like that. That's these muscles in between your fingers, and that's what that thing helps. Well, maybe guitar players just for those with big hands. No. I was with Phil Kagi, and I literally said, put your hand up. And so I put my hand on Phil Kagi's hand. His hand was just as small as mine, and yet he's doing bling, stuff like that. So it doesn't have to do with the size of your hand, it has to do with the flexibility of your hand. So that's what this is about, is working with flexibility. All right. We've got a couple minutes. Now I'm going to get to actually what I wanted to get to. So let's talk about finger flexibility with chords. Okay? So a lot of times when I'm doing chords, we're going to start off with an A2. So I want to put your second finger on this 4th string 2nd fret. Right there. Third finger underneath it. And then you have open strings, you have the A, open, E, A. We have a beautiful A2 chord. Okay, so our fingers aren't stretched at all, they're just right next to each other. Okay, so let's just get maybe, what we're going to do is we're going to move this around. By moving 2 frets up, I get this sort of a funky chord. Kind of an A with an F sharp, A6, 9. Okay, if I move another half step up, I get a very cool A minor 9th. Don't ever play an A minor again when you can slip in an A minor 9th and folks think you're a genius. Okay? You move another half step up, you got an A major 9th. Sometimes you can come up with a lot of good creative things by just moving things around. Listen to this. Incredible guitarist. Just moving 2 fingers around. Just start moving things around and you'll find a lot of creativity. Okay? Alright, so we're gonna practice doing that. So we're gonna practice our strums. While we're doing this, I'm gonna get our drummer here going here in a second. When you're strumming, let's talk about strumming. Some of you are fingerstyle, so I'm sorry about that. We do have, if you have a pick, we're gonna be dealing with a pick for the next couple of seconds. Here's the motion. You gotta relax. You gotta relax. It's gotta be you know when you're at the sink, the bathroom, and you're doing the water like that, that's the motion. That's the motion when you're strumming. It's a lot of wrist. So it's not, when I'm strumming, I'm not going like this. You'll find this, I'm not going up and down like that, very stiff. You'll hear players that play that and it sounds relax. Gotta relax a little bit. Okay? Now, so it's a little bit of a twisty motion, and it's a little bit of an up and down motion. But it's just kind of a motion like that. You ever seen a guy do a whip? Where he cracks the whip and he goes out and he goes bang. Okay? Well, if you just went boop, it doesn't work. Okay? So the motion actually starts back here and then just comes through your hand. That's kind of what it is with strumming. Okay? So the motion starts back up here and then you just kind of let it wobble around here. And so it'll kind of wobble back on you. If you're a drummer, you ever wonder how drummers get drum rolls? You physically can't go, you can't do that. Like a monkey, you can't do that, okay? They have to do it with the rebound of the stick. So if I loosen up my stick and I let it rebound, it goes fa-bum. That's what they're doing. They're controlling the rebound. Fa-bum, 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 fa-bum. So they're getting 2 bumps, even sometimes 3, out of one motion by just letting that stick rebound and controlling the rebound. When we're doing strumming, it's a similar thing. Okay? So we're gonna go back to our A2 chord with some of those thoughts in mind. Let me get our drummer going here. Come on, Kate. Oh yeah. 1, we're just gonna do this A2, then it's gonna follow me. I'm gonna say a 1, a 2, a strum, an A2 chord. I don't care what pattern you do. That doesn't matter. Okay, then stop. Listen to the groove. Can you crank up the drums a little bit in here? 2, 3, 4. I'm used to drummers stopping when I do that. I'll watch that now. I'll get another program. Just move some things around. Sit there in your practice room. Just move things around. If you're creative folks, if you're songwriter types, a lot of times you can come up with great stuff that doesn't have to be really complex by just moving stuff around. Okay? That was a simple one. Now we're going to split the fingers a little bit. So let's go down to the second and third strings. And we're going to play basically a D2. So we're slowly separating these fingers out. So now I've got my second finger on the third string A. Third finger on the second string, third fret, D. And an open E. This is the bass form. We're going to start moving this guy around. Okay? Let me talk talk just a second about pick angle when you're strumming. When I strum and I want a big, strong strum, I have my pick at a 90-degree angle like that. Timothy, can you get this? Okay, so it's at a 90-degree angle. Okay? Now, if I want to still get a great strumming sound, but I don't want to be so loud, I kind of angle my pick a little more like that. Okay? When I want a full sound, I'm straight down. There you go. When I want a little bit lesser sound, I'll kind of do like that. Listen to the difference. Here's full sound. Now I'm using the side of my pick now. See how much I went down volume, but I'm still able to strum? If I want to go back, I kind of weasel it back in there. Okay? That's just a little trick for that. So when I want to get a soft strum, and I'm also kind of I'm almost brushing the strings. I'm not going straight like that. I'm almost brushing the strings with this side of my pick. All right, so this is our bass form. Let's get our drummer going here. Actually, let me back it up a little bit. We're going to start here with 1, 2, a 1, 2, strum a D, 2, M. So now we're going to do a different chord. We're going to now get our first finger involved. We're going to come up here to an E5. So this is at the 7th fret. So you're at the 7th fret. I'm going to put my first finger on the 5th string. Okay. I'm going to put my 3rd finger on the 4th string, what is that, the 9th fret. And I'm going to put my pinky right underneath it on the 3rd string, 9th fret. Find a few open strings with it. So I can strum all 6 strings. It's a great chord for an E, just kind of a good, very good guitar kind of chord. Everybody got it? It's called an E5 in the biz. Okay, we're going to move this one around. This one gets real fun. Okay, let's get the drummer going. Back up a little bit. 1, 2, a strum, an E5, go. Relax that hand. Relax that strumming hand. Has to figure out out how to get that finger to do what it needs to do. So what he does is he calls to that little muscle and he says, hey, move your pinky here, or move here, or stay here, or hold this, or whatever. Okay? So there's a signal that comes from your brain that has to go and come into this muscle here. Now what happens is when you don't know what to do, when I'm asking you to do new things that your hand has never done before, that little muscle has never heard from the brain before. Hey, are you talking to me? You want me to do that? You know, so he's not used to hearing that command. Okay, so he's gonna. So your brain starts saying, "Hey, move it down there, move this thing," and your hand can't. He doesn't understand. He's not used to hearing that muscle. So everybody just down there starts going, "What? You talking to me? What? You talking to me?" And everybody starts getting tensed out. Have you ever had where you're trying to learn something new, and next thing you know, your whole hand is aching, your whole arm is aching? I'm asking you to do stuff, and your whole hand. Why is my whole hand aching when all I'm trying to do is move my first finger? That's because your first finger is not used to hearing that command. And so everybody else is going, what, you talking to me? And they're all tensing up. Okay? Your hand, the good news is your brain, neurologically, and this muscle gets better at hearing each other. So eventually, you can start doing these things, and I can move one finger, and I'm not dying anymore. But initially, when you start, you go, why can't I do that? That's because they're not used to talking to each other. So that's what's going on. So when I'm asking you to do new things, don't get frustrated with it. Just keep working at it, and it'll eventually start to really do that. All right, let's get back to our E5 again. Ready? A 1, a 2, an E5. Let the screams ring again. This is an E2, very cool chord. This exercise you thought was about chords. It wasn't about chords at all. It was about getting your fingers stretched. All right, now we're going to take this bad boy and we're going to walk him around the block a little bit, okay? And see what happens. This is an E2. Very open sounding chord. Some of y'all are still trying to find it. Your pinkies have to go way out. You can't do this. Oh, that's nasty. You mean you're asking me to put my pinky way over here? Yes, that's exactly what I'm asking. Yes. If you can't do it, that's fine. That's you work toward it. Reese, you got it.
Pinky's on 11, fret 11.
We got pinkies on the 11th fret, 3rd string. Okay? Alright, so here we go. Here we go. A 1, a 2, strum an E2, and ready, and I go F. Down 2 frets, down 2 frets. Down another fret, just 1 fret. Oh man, it's beautiful, beautiful. C sharp minor 9, ladies and gentlemen. Another half step down. One half step up. Half step down. Good. Now you can't do that one for very long, you'll notice, because your hand starts to fall off. So, yes? Then miss the fingering. First, then second, then fourth. Now I could do a third, but you'll notice when you get down here, it just gets too wide. So that's why sometimes you have to do second. You can stretch pretty far between 1 and 2, and between 3 and 4. Okay. Very good. We'll talk more about that next time. We're going to take about a 15-minute break while Christy comes up here and while you can soak your hand in ice. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. All right. Hang on. We will be back in about 15 minutes with Christy.